species, 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 hot dogs.
Species
A
is
hot
already
one.
plural.
Yes, species.
Yes, of a species. All right, now we're gonna do Venom.
Venom, venom,
Venom,
venom,
Venom,
venom,
Venom!
venom, venom,
Time to get him!
venom. Okay, we're Screen Sisters. We're gonna be talking about the new Venom. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'm Stephanie.
I am me.
Tight. The first thing I would want to say is that I thought this movie was so fast paced. It was hard to tell how it was hard to tell that when we moved from act 1, 2, and 3, because I felt everything was just vroom. And I know that was probably maybe possibly being like to keep everything concise, not to go overboard, not to use too much money on CGI, not to overbloat the story, just to have one single, straightforward shot. So if that was what they were going for, they nailed it. No filler at all. Like nailed it. My basic reaction was that it was a lovable mess. I thought the first Venom was a lovable mess. So when the second one was announced, and of course when we saw what's his name at the end, Woody Harrelson at the end of the first one, I was just like, I didn't think we would ever see Carnage live action in my lifetime. Maybe not like I'm gonna die tomorrow, but I meant like, while I'm still like young enough to like want to throw all my money at Marvel movies. I honestly didn't think we'd see it, especially because Carnage is so murdery. Like he's just very violent and angry and always wants to murder and eat everything and everybody. So I didn't think we would see a live action version that would be on screen in a way that kids or people under 18 or under, what was it? I don't know the age, violence 13,
17,
PG 13, whatever.
Oh, PG 13.
In a way that people will go see it and be like, oh, this is bad, because it's very violent. But I think they handled.
There was no blood, so
exactly. I mean, so
it was still violent. There was just no blood, which I think is what triggers the R rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't like how Carnage and Cletus weren't a match, because they're like perfect in the comics. So I didn't like that he was like, oh, I am not syncing with my symbiote because we're just out of sync. Like, no, like that's not supposed to happen. So I did not like that part of it, but I thought his CGI was cool and really good. Like I love when he first appears, I was like, yes. I was like, yes, just like waiting for that big like moment. I was like, it's coming. I can feel him. I'm so excited.
When he first burst out as Venom and he was kind of shrouded in that dark smoke in the room before we saw
Carnage?
him. Yeah. Did you kind of think of Rogue One at the end when Vader, like all you hear is the breathing?
You know what? I did not.
Oh, okay. I did a little.
Well, first of all, that scene in Rogue One was iconic.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That can't be done. That cannot be done again.
Yeah, nothing felt iconic at all about.
Yeah.
Let There Be Carnage. I wish the.
I can't remember.
I think in some movies you kind of like root for the bad guy sometimes, just because you like the actor or you like whatever. But I didn't feel connected to Woody Harrelson's portrayal of Cletus Cassidy at all. I didn't feel like.
Well, I think what we have here is an Age of Ultron situation, wherein the title misleads what we'll actually see. Age of Ultron sounds as if it should be
the end of the Avengers and everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, and this is called Let There Be Carnage, and I don't feel like we got that carnage. I honestly went in there thinking we were going to see a bloodbath.
Yeah.
But I mean, how could I possibly think that if it's PG-13?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I kind of didn't like their whole me and Venom and Eddie are gonna like break up. I think it would have been. I think when he said we should be out helping people, I was like, that's a movie that we actually should be seeing. Like, don't just say it. Show us that. I want to see that because
yeah, they were having the same conversation that they had in the first, at the end of the
yeah,
first movie. So I feel like in this movie they should have so much enough time has passed for them to have had a system down.
yeah,
Like,
for real.
I'm gonna keep doing my job. If I find some really, really bad eggs, you can have them, but we have to keep a
Yeah,
low
at least do
profile.
that. Like,
Yeah, we have to keep
you
a low
know,
profile, and I won't take anything to the authorities unless I have concrete evidence or something. I don't know. Like,
yeah. And it's
it
easy
should have.
to, and then they made the whole like he's under surveillance because of what happened with Carlton Drake and
Oh, you're right. That does make sense, though, that he would be under constant surveillance because of that. Because a lot of people disappeared, and he happened to be in the
mhm.
vicinity of a lot of it.
Oh,
So,
I did like. I'm sorry. Are we still talking about the Eddie and Venom relationship? Because I was gonna move on.
I mean, I think that's it. I just, I did, I did really like the nightclub scene,
Yeah,
and when he got up on stage. But I like the part after it when he's like, "Oh, I wish Eddie could have seen me tonight." Like, I just thought that was so sweet.
because you also want your murderous counterpart to want to spend all of this time with you too. Also, after that nightclub scene, he just killed a bunch of people.
He certainly did. So he got his wish, and it
Yes,
still wasn't as satisfying as I would have liked because they kind of kept cutting away from it. I think the cringiest
I know
scene
exactly
in
what
the
you're gonna say.
whole
Yeah,
movie has
super
to
cringe.
be.
Yeah,
It was weird.
so weird,
It was weird, and
so
while
weird.
I was watching it, I was like, "This is so cringy," but like, I love it for some reason.
I
Like,
did not love
it
it. I
was
was
just,
like, I don't like this. I'm just gonna wait for this moment to pass.
it was so awkward, and it's something that you would. I think I loved it because Hollywood kind of has like this weird like status quo-iness about itself. So like
Okay,
that's something that
just
you
for people
wouldn't
who
see.
don't know, we are talking about a scene
Oh,
and Let There Be Carnage because we didn't address the scene.
yeah, we didn't address
We
the
just
scene.
know each other so well. We know exactly what we're talking
Yeah.
about. So, Angela, continue.
Was it? It
Explain
was
the scene.
Mrs. Cho was her name.
I thought it
Mrs.
was Mrs. Chen.
Mrs. Chen. Okay.
I don't know you.
Let me make sure I have her. Yeah, Mrs. Chen.
Okay.
Venom is hiding inside of Mrs. Chen, and Michelle Williams' character, whose name I forget. Good lord, we are bad at remembering character names.
And
Anne. Anne figures out that Venom is hiding inside Mrs. Chen, and so she starts flirting with Venom while he's inside of Mrs. Chen to get him to come out and to help her go find Eddie so that they can beat Carnage. And it is
super,
just,
super weird.
this is the moment where I would love to say I get where they were going with this, but I don't, and I don't see. And that's where I'm going back to the like the status quo-iness of Hollywood, and that is a scene that I don't think would have ever made it, into that film had it been like just a different project. I don't see that scene existing anywhere else in time or in life.
In time or in life.
Or in life. Yeah, but I was laughing while I was watching it, but it was like a oh god laugh.
Okay, that works. That makes
I
some
don't know.
sense.
I don't know.
Oh no!
But as long as Mrs. Chen and Anne, the actors who play them, as long as they were having a good time, then that's all that matters. And that's what it comes across as, like everybody was just having a good time.
Yeah,
So I can't be mad at that. I think a lot of people have an issue with the execution of the film, both films, and I get it. Like I get it. I For what we know of the character, you wouldn't anticipate films like this coming from that character, but I think what they tried to hone in on was the absurdity of it. An alien being living inside your body wanting to eat other human beings and you're the only matching host for both of you to survive. So let's see here. Tom Hardy was excellent, and you can tell he really enjoys the character and being the character. I think he
Yeah.
enjoys the back and forth of it, which is another reason I think why I like, because I it's weird. Acting can be fun.
Can it now?
It can be fun, and I think as fans of certain projects and of certain people that like we like their films and whatnot and other things that they appear in television shows, I think sometimes we forget that they want to have fun and they want to have fun with their characters, and everything doesn't need to be absolutely dire or absolutely by the book of
That's
absolutely
true.
by yeah absolutely by the book of something. Oh, I'm playing with my cord. Can you
Look
hear it?
up, please.
Okay.
No, you're just like you're like.
Sorry, I'm playing. I was tightening up my cord so it wouldn't be. It's very long. Sorry, guys. This is my first set of like gaming headphones, so they're distracting. They're red. It's a nice color. I had to get an adapter to plug them in.
Look
It's
at
all that.
you. Fine
It's
adapters.
it's all that in a bag of chips. I did like that they naturally built on their relationship, but again, I still think that who's doing what when should have been solidified at that point. So, what do you think this means for Venom? Do you think he's going to get to eat the bad guys now? He's Eddie Brock is going to be like, okay, we're officially just going to be heroes now and take care of the bad guys, and you get to eat all of them. Do you think that's going to be the deal?
Maybe.
Do you
I
think?
mean, I think that if we are getting a Venom 3,
We are.
I will have I will have to try to figure out what they're doing, especially with the mid credits post scene, because if they set up Patrick Mulligan to be Toxin, is he going to be in Venom 3 or is he going to be in
Oh, is
3?
that who he is?
Yes.
Oh, I was wondering because his eyes were glowing. Do they glow in the comics?
Yeah, and I think I must have missed that scene. Like, how did he have any type of symbiote?
Oh, he's a symbiote?
Yeah,
Toxin is
Toxin's a
another.
symbiote. So I don't remember seeing him any Carnage fall in his mouth or any Venom fall in his mouth or something. Like I feel like when I feel like I looked away or something
I might have missed it.
because like I said, the movie was just there. It is. So I just know
Yeah,
that
it's
his
happening.
eyes turned what blue.
Yeah.
So I need clarification on that because I don't understand how he could have possibly done that.
Do you think, I mean, we keep talking about the pacing of the film. Do you think, and it sounds like they used all of the shots they wanted to use, but do you think that we'll get a surface of a circus cut at any
No,
point? No. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I wanted more Shriek.
Yeah.
I wanted
Okay.
more. I wanted more of her as Shriek. I felt like there's this thing in my brain that if I see you in the trailer, you're gonna have more than like 2 minutes of screen. I
John
was
Boyega
really,
is a Jedi.
yeah, I was really thinking that we were gonna see a lot more of her and Cletus's relationship, and I don't think we needed Anne in this. I don't think we needed her. Yes, the door was open at the end of the first one, but at the top of this one, she says she's getting engaged. I don't think we needed to see her character the rest of the film. I think that should have been the closure and the separation then for him to.
That's true. That would have
That
been
actually
decent.
probably would have been the jumping off point where he'd say, "Okay, Venom, you can do what you want," because now he
Actually,
knows that
yeah.
he doesn't have to try to keep himself together to be with a woman who is now marrying somebody else.
I hate when my woman marries someone else too.
You wrote here. I think Woody was too crazy for me.
Yeah, like I think I already mentioned it, just like his portrayal of a serial killer. And I've seen a serial killer Woody before, which was Natural Born Killers, correct?
Yeah, he's done. I mean,
Yeah, so
he's done a lot of roles kind of in that. Well, not a lot,
yeah.
but
So
he's done some roles in that realm.
I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it. I think you've been better. I think I think the I think this one was slightly more campy
You know what?
than
Oh, go ahead.
the first one. And I know that being big in camp is probably something that is super easy to do now that we're adapting fictional, colorful, pretty much cartoon comic book characters. Like there's going to be some camp, some aspect of of cheesy,
Yeah.
colorful, weird camp nonsense. So I just think that his portrayal of crazy wasn't like my cup of tea.
I was actually fine with it. The only thing I didn't like was that there was the conversation in particular when Eddie goes to see him at the prison and he's talking to him about his childhood. I thought that had a lot of really good moments in it, but I felt like Venom cutting in to respond to what he was saying, I think that took away from a lot of those moments for me,
Okay,
because
yeah.
I think it kind of it took away from what he was saying, and it took away from what he was saying about him and Eddie being connected and he said he wanted to be friends with him. I think had Venom, I mean, maybe Eddie wouldn't have, thought anything of it in the first place, but I think if Venom hadn't been talking, I think the investigator Eddie would have been actually hearing what Cletus was saying
Mm,
in that
yeah.
conversation.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I wonder, and that kind of also makes me wonder if, yes, Eddie's solving all these cases with Venom's help, but is it taking away from Eddie being able to solve these things on his own the way he used to? You know what I'm saying? Is that he doesn't have to rely on his gut anymore because he's got an alien inside of him that can basically
That
come
is
to
his
his
gut.
aid. Yeah, that is his gut. This is what I want to say. I can't remember because it's been a week already or 2 weeks since we saw Venom. When Carnage first shows up and he's murdering everybody in the prison, I can't remember if there was music playing, but they should cut all the music out of that scene and just hear the sound effects of the people screaming and Carnage roaring and like tearing people apart, buildings, and the building being crushed.
I think
So,
that was the scene where I was like, I feel like a lot of people who kind of like gruesome nonsense. I think that would have been the scene that was like, this is Andy Serkis's baby. This like really violent, like what was it? One full 1 minute of just like nonsense happening. Because I still have yet to see Mowgli,
oh, okay.
but I, have seen everything else he's done.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah. I think the film moving so fast maybe have the unintended effect of making it a little bit forgettable. I can remember key scenes, but I can't remember how we got to certain scenes. Which I'm sure is, true of most things after you've walked away from it and had some distance from it. But
Yeah.
it was moving so fast, and like you said, like we didn't really know when we were in Act Two, when we were in Act Three. We needed a little bit more time. They probably could have kept maybe 10ish, maybe 15, 20 minutes or added. I don't know. All right. So moving on to the juicy stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you ready to talk post credits?
Yeah. I screamed.
Sure did. Oh, first of all, I
Yeah.
just want to say one thing. I really liked that conversation when they were in the hotel and he was saying, we all have past. And I was like, ooh, spicy. And then the quote, the full quote was 80 billion light years of hive knowledge across universes would explode your pretty little brain. And so a hive mind of an alien species, species, hot dogs,
Species
a
is
hive
already
mind,
plural.
yes, species,
Yes. Of a species. Of a species. Of a
um,
species.
that was super interesting choice of words to use.
It was.
So with the multiverse happening and Eddie thinking, oh, like, is this what you did? And he was just like, I didn't do that. Loved that since he is part alien, the
It's
multiverse
not
didn't do
affecting.
anything to him.
Yeah.
So if he has hive knowledge of the multiverse, then he has hive knowledge of Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of Tobey Maguire
Of Tobey Maguire, yeah.
turning into Venom and then giving that Eddie Brock Venom. and then that Eddie Brock pretty much killing himself. So that was
Oh my
one
God,
thing
do you think
that
we're gonna see Topher Grace?
I hope so. Did you see he made like a joke when someone asked him if he was going to be
Oh,
in it?
yeah,
I
yeah,
would love to see Topher Grace back.
yeah,
I want him to just be, I want him to still be mean, just all
yeah,
like, I hate you. Like,
yeah.
even though like what he did was so dumb, right? He had no reason to hate Peter
He had
Parker, like
no
at all.
reason.
He was
They
just
didn't have
like,
enough scenes
oh.
together for yeah, they didn't have enough scenes together for even to amount to killing Peter Parker.
Yeah. I think
So he'll have
um
hive mind of another Eddie Brock. So do you think we'll hear if we don't see Topher Grace, do you think Venom is gonna joke that there was another Eddie Brock too?
yeah,
There was
I
another
think
Eddie with
like
frosted tips.
there's another Eddie with blonde frosted tips who was dating Gwen Stacy. And then this Venom would be like, and no, like Tom Hardy would be like, who's Gwen Stacy? And I feel
Right.
like that would be some more nonsense happening in the multiverse world. If you know the multiverse and Tom Holland and J. Jonah Jameson, which kudos to both of them, which technically it wasn't the same video, was it? It looked different. And did he say something totally different?
I mean, I wouldn't be
Because he had
surprised
a
if he.
picture of Peter Parker in a Spider-Man suit instead of just Peter Parker and like his high school yearbook photo. Because remember at
Oh,
the end of Far
yeah.
From Home, it was him like it looked like his like high school picture
Okay.
because it was Tom Holland wearing the suit with his head out. So I'm wondering if that's the exact same or supposed to be the same type
Do
of
you
dialogue. Not unless this multiverse. Well, no, that wouldn't make any sense either.
think they're gonna keep this this do you think they're gonna keep this symbiosis going? Do you think we're gonna continue to see Sony Marvel characters in MCU? Like, do you think they're gonna keep them, or do you think they're just gonna have cameos and be out?
I think it could possibly be both. I yeah, I think Kevin Feige would probably know what to do with Spider-Man more than Sony would, but I know that Sony has had Spider-Man now for 20 years. So I'm sure they have 25 years,
Why would
right?
you think they? Why would you think that Feige would know have a better handle of what to do
Just
with Spider-Man? I mean, I think they've handled.
just because of interpreting him into the MCU with all the other
Oh,
like
okay.
street level type things
Okay.
because he is a street level person and he like you know jumps in space sometimes and even watching the cartoon all of his villains are on earth most of the time
Yeah.
and if they are like you know there's one where he went to outer space and was just like I'm coming for you like to jump in and then he even had nanotech you know in the cartoon so I think I mean I can't speak for everybody over there at Sony. I'm sure they have to have somebody who's there who knows like someone who's reading comics because I this is what I imagine like Marvel Studios is right now, Disney Plus, like a giant floor of just a bunch of people running around saying in 1996 you know Tony Stark did this but in 1971 Captain America did that like that's what I'm imagining what it's like at Marvel Studios especially now.
Just kidding.
Yeah so that's what I figured
Uh-huh.
is kind of happening. I mean, like I said, I can't really speak for Sony. I just know that the I'm so
Um.
back to the post credit scene. Oh,
Excuse
I'm
me.
sorry. You go ahead.
Nope, I didn't. Okay. Well, in reference to the post-credit scene, do you think we're going to see the agents of Shield? That was what I was thinking. I was like, I would love to see Mac show up as director of Shield, and Fury is like, what?
Because here's what would be totally amazing
Hmm.
if they do the multiverse and they're like Shield wants to speak to you and it's a director of Shield and it's a big bald black man and they turn around and it's freaking Alfonso McKenzie.
I would lose it. I
Yeah,
would.
I think
I
he
would
would be
lose it.
like, "Who are you?" And he would
Yeah.
say, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And I think that would be really fun. But again, it was so separate for so long, and then you know they did their own thing, and I feel like if there was any point for them to show up, it would have been you know Endgame because that would have been really cool. But you know, now that we're doing the multiverse of madness, or in the multi blah 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 blah, I assume everything under the Marvel sun for the last 75 years will be canon because of the multiverse. So even that really horrible movie from the 70s where it was Captain America.
He got, what did he get? Like motorbike chased in the mountains. And then he shows up in the next scene clean as a whistle in brand new clothing with like, what happened in between?
You know, it's so funny because I remember whenever you watch those older movies, they always say that their transitions were always like that. Like they never thought to put them in like dirty clothes or sweaty clothes or something. Another thing I wanted to say about the post-credit scene, which now I'm thinking that I forgot about it already.
It was only the one post-credit scene, right? Yeah,
yes,
the one. Okay.
Scene. Come on. Okay, two things. Do you think? Oh, here's another thing. Okay, so about two things. So about earlier when I was talking about Toxin. Do you think Toxin would be the other member of the Sinister Six if they're combining, or
I don't think they were
Venom is going to be a member of the Sinister Six, or he's going to show up and be like, "Who are you, and what is happening, and why do I hate you so much?"
I feel like if Venom is part of the Sinister Six, then Toxin would not be part of the Sinister Six because I can't imagine they're going to want two people that have the exact same skill set.
No. Either or, not the same.
Right. Okay.
Either or. But I'm saying one of them has, like, if they're doing Toxin has to be in Venom 3.
So if
they're doing Toxin and they did the multiverse, is Toxin? So are we supposed to be looking forward to seeing Venom fighting everybody, or Venom teaming up with Spider-Man because of Toxin? You know what I mean?
Look at Venom. We're gonna see Venom teaming up with Spider-Man. He's gonna be so fond of Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Venom is such a big softie.
So I don't think I'm gonna watch the next Spider-Man trailer because I've already been like, I think I'm just like I'm ready for it. Okay, are we done? Are we done with Venom?
Yeah, we're done with Venom. We're done with Venom. Okay, goodbye.
Okay, thanks for watching our Venom Let There Be Carnage video.